वर मोहम्मद वाल मोहम्मद बुलंदर सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद। मोमिन किराम, आज 26 जुलाई और 20 मुहर्रम हराम, और यहाँ पर जो खमसे मजालिस का सिलसिला चल रहा है उसकी आज आखिरी मजलिस है, जिसे मौलाना सैयद रज़ा हुसैन ज़ैदी साहब खिताबत के फ़राइज़ अंजाम दे रहे हैं। और आज इस मजलिस का आगाज़ तिलावत कलाम पाक से होगा, जिसकी तिलावत हमारे मास्टर नायल सईद करेंगे, और उसके बाद ऑन आलम यहाँ पर हदीस किस्सा की तिलावत करेंगे, और उसके बाद बरादर सफदर शिया का सलाम और मरसिया, और फिर क़िबला की स्पीच होगी। स्पीच इंशाअल्लाह 9:20 पे इख्तिताम पजीर होगी, और यहाँ पर नज़र इमाम का अहतमाम होगा, लंगर का अहतमाम है, और फिर उसके बाद सलातुल मगरिब के बाद जमात। तो इस मजलिस का आगाज़ करते हुए मैं दावत दूँगा नायल सईद सेवाएँ, और उसके बाद फिर ऑन यहाँ पर तिलावत हदीस के साथ पेश करेंगे। बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंदर सलवात सल्ली अला मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद।
सलावत। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهم وما تحت الثرى وإن تجهر بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى. الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى. وهل أتاك حديث موسى إذ نار فقال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى. We have not revealed the Quran to you, O Prophet, to cause you distress, but as a reminder to those in awe of Allah. It is a revelation from the one who created the earth and the high heaven, the most compassionate, who is established on the throne. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth, and whatever is in between and whatever is underground. Whether you speak openly or not, he certainly knows what is secret and is even more hidden. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him. He has the most beautiful names. Has the story of Moses reached you, O Prophet? When he saw fire, he said to his family, "Wait here, for I have spotted a fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch from it, or find you some guidance at the fire." Sadaqallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salawat. Salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني يجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم لك راية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنته لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت الكساء فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسين علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها راية جاخي وابن عمي رسول الله فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد أذنته لك فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيته نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بدعتي قد أذنته لك فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء لأهل البيت وخاصتي وحامتي لحمهم لحمي وطبهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم وجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهر تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكة يا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مرحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء
فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل البيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها صلوات. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يكريك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزة وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا كونا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم محبتكم وقد أذنوا لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا من وحي الله فإنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء وقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. وقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبر هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعة ومحبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. وقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه محم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا تعرف حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محمد وآل محمد बुलंदतर सलवात सल्ले अला मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद व अज्जल फरजम। नाइल और आन की इज़्ज़त सलामती के लिए बुलंदतर सलवात हुमा सल्ले अला मोहम्मद। मिदत शबीर के चंद अशार फिर मैं सफदर भाई को दावत सलाम दूँगा। मिदहते शबीर तेरा शुक्रिया मिदहते शबीर तेरा शुक्रिया कातिबे तकदीर तेरा शुक्रिया याद अकबर की दिला देता है तू याद अकबर की दिला देता है तू नारे तकबीर तेरा शुक्रिया रिज़्क़ मिलता है हमें तेरे तुफ़ैल रिज़्क़ मिलता है हमें तेरे तुफ़ैल दस्ते खैबर गिर तेरा शुक्रिया। और मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंदतर सलवात हुमा सल्ले अला। अब मैं दाऊद दूँगा सफदर शुजा भाई से वो सलाम पेश करें। उसके बाद हमारे جو بچے ہیں جیسے میسم بازل وہ مرثیہ کے لیے آئیں گے. بعد محمد و آل محمد بلند تر صلوات.
پر محمد و آل محمد بلند تر صلوات. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. آ کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا. آ کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا. میں ہوں مشکل میں مشکل میں مجھے پاس بلا لو بابا. کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا. نیند آتی نہیں سونے سے بھی ڈر لگتا ہے. لوں جو کروٹ تو میرے کانوں سے خون رستا ہے. اپنے سینے پہ اپنے سینے پہ گھڑی بھر کو سلا لو بابا. کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا. تیرے قاتل مجھے رونے سے منع کرتے ہیں. جب بھی روتی ہوں تو بد پہ ستم کرتے ہیں. کھل کے رو لوں مجھے کھل کے رو لوں مجھے نیزے پہ اٹھا لو بابا. کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا. بھاگتے اونٹ سے بابا میں کئی بار گری. در بچھینے میرے دے کھو میری پوشاک جلی. مجھ کو زندہ کے مجھ کو زندہ کے اندھیروں سے نکالو بابا کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا شمر سے مانگو جو پانی تو جھڑک دیتا ہے پھر میرے سامنے مٹی پہ گرا دیتا ہے بھیج کے غازی کو بھیج کے غازی کو دو بوند منگا دو بابا کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا نہ کوئی مجھ کو بلاتا ہے سکینہ کہہ کے شام کے لوگ بلاتے ہیں یتیمہ کہہ کے ٹھوکریں کھاتی ٹھوکریں کھاتی سکینہ کو سنبھالو بابا کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا میں ہوں مشکل میں ہوں مشکل میں مجھے پاس بلا لو بابا کے رسیوں سے سکینہ کو چھڑا لو بابا برائے خوشنود محمد و آل محمد بلند تر صلوات
محمد و آل محمد بلند تر صلوات محمد و آل محمد ہمارے دیگر بلند تر صلوات صلی علی محمد و آل محمد
صلوات پیاس بجھ گئی اسلام کے لہو سے تیری پیاس بجھ گئی سیراب کر گیا تجھے خون رگے رسول سیراب کر گیا تجھے خون رگے رسول ہے کربلا کی خاک صلوات سورہ فاتحہ جب کربلا میں اطراط اطہار لٹ گئی جب کربلا میں اطراط اطہار لٹ گئی یعنی سب آل احمد مختار لٹ گئی اور بارگاہ حیدر کرار لٹ گئی ساری حسین پیاسے کی سرکار لٹ گئی ساری حسین پیاسے کی سرکار لٹ گئی بیداد لشکر عمر نابکار سے سادات نکلے خیمے سے زہرا مزار سادات نکلے خیمے سے زہرا مزار مقتل کے سامنے حرم آقا کے گر پا اور پہلوؤں میں بچے بھی آ کے گر پا ایک جا سے تار خاک پہ زہرا کے گر پا عابد وفور ذوب سے تھرا کے گر پا عابد وفور ذوب سے تھرا کے گر پا آیا نہ کوئی غش سے اٹھانے کے واسطے زنجیر لایا کوئی پہنانے کے واسطے زنجیر لایا کوئی پہنانے کے واسطے عابد نے غش میں نام جو زنجیر کا سو ناطاقتی میں درد سے پھر چشم واقعی زنجیر و توق دیکھ کے بیمار نے کہا کیوں منصف یہی ہے میرے درد کی دوا کیوں منصف یہی ہے میرے درد کی دوا بیمار و ناتوا ہوں میں اور تشنہ کام لوگو امام زادہ خود بھی امام لوگو امام زادہ خود بھی امام پہناتے ہیں جو بیری یا میری خطا ہے ہاں باب قتل ہوگا میں زندہ رہ گا سمجھا میں حد کری کے پہنانے کا مدعا عباس کی طرح نہ کٹے ہاتھ کیوبا عباس کی طرح نہ کٹے ہاتھ کیوبا اصغر کی طرح حلقے نہ زخمی ہوا ہے ریس مانو تو کے قابل گلا میں ہے ریس مانو تو کے قابل گلا میں عابد کی سمت روتی چلی بنت مرتا دیکھا کہ قید ہو چکا ہے وہ شکستہ لیکن گلے کے بندھنے سے دم ہوتا ہے خواہ بولی بتیجے تیری اسیری پہ محفل بولی بتیجے تیری اسیری پہ محفل تا غم تمہیں نہ تیغ سے میرا گلا اب خوش ہوئے کہ ورثہ شیر خدا میں تا غم تمہیں نہ تیغ سے میرا گلا اب خوش ہوئے کہ ورثہ شیر خدا میں جب کربلا میں عطرت پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات
ماشاءاللہ تمام بچوں کی صحت و سلامتی کے لیے خاص طور سے جنہوں نے آج سلام مرثیہ تلاوت حدیث قصہ اور مرثیہ کی یہاں پر تلاوت کی ان سب کی صحت و سلامتی کے لیے بلندتر صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد. مومنین کرام کل سے یہاں پر کھمسہ سجادہ کی مجالس سٹارٹ ہوگی ٹھیک 8 بجے شام جسے قبلہ مولانا سید ہادی حسن صاحب خطاب فرمائیں گے. تمام مومنین و مومنات سے وقت پر شرکت کی استدعا ہے اور جو مومنین اور مومنات ان مجالس میں تبرک سپانسر کرنا چاہیں گے تو وہ ایگزیکٹو سے رابطہ کر سکتے ہیں. اس کے علاوہ آج جو ہمارا خمسہ مجالس کا سلسلہ چلا آ رہا آج اس خمسہ مجالس کی آخری مجلس ہے. ہم قبلہ مولانا سید رضا حسین زیدی صاحب کے بے حد ممنون و مشکور ہے کہ انہوں نے اپنی علمی گفتگو سے تمام سامعین کو محظوظ فرمایا. اللہ تعالیٰ سے دعا ہے بحق امام حسین علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام ان کے جو کلمات تقاریر تھی یہ ہمیں ان سے مستفیض ہونے کی توفیق عطا فرمائے. اور اس کے علاوہ آج کا جو پروگرام ہے قبلہ کی اسپیچ کے فوراً بعد یہاں پر ماتم نوا ہوگا. اس کے فوراً بعد یہاں لنگر نظر امام حسین کا اہتمام ہے اور پھر اس کے بعد صلاۃ المغربین بعد جماعت ہوگی. اب میں ملتمس ہوں قبلہ مولانا سید رضا حسین زیدی صاحب سے ممبر تشریف لائیں اور اس مجلس اعزاز سے خطاب فرمائیں. بار دیگر بلندتر صلوات نعرے تکبیر نعرے رسالت نعرے حیدری
یا علی
حیدری
یا علی
قبولت مجلس بلندتر صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہ
تاجل امام زمان علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام بلندتر صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وعجل for the acceptance of this majlis and the acceptance of your prayers and the reappearance, early reappearance of Sahaba al Zaman, I'd like you to recite one Surah Fatiha and gift it to Hazrat Zahra Salamullah Alaiha and Sahaba al Zaman. Ajjal Allah Ta'ala Faraj Hussain. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين صلوات اللهم صل على محمد. ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين باري خلائق أجمعين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا وشفيع المذنبين جد الحسنين وأبي الزهراء وأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المعصومين المنتخبين المنتجبين الغر الميامين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء ولعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. وبعد اللهم انطقني بالهدى والهمني بالتقوى رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. صلوات اللهم صل على. As already announced, you already know that this is the last Majlis of the Khamsa. The 5 days Majlis is going to end today. And let me summarize this for you in just a few sentences. As you already know, that the topic has been that the only religion that exists in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam. And we try to take on all of the religions and the most popular ideology like atheism also, and discuss all of the issues in the different sects, the sects of beliefs that exist in the different schools of thoughts in Islam as well. And now today is the last Majlis, and what I'd like to say is that I'd like to narrate just one hadith when I begin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he says, Ya Ali, anta wa shiyatuka humul faizun. He says, Ya Ali, you and your followers are the people who are successful. Just the Shia, Ali alayhi salam, and the followers of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Now, this hadith, Ya Ali, anta wa shiyatuka humul faizun, exists in the books of Al-Sunnah and also Shias. And this hadith, when did Rasulullah say this? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When there were no Deobandis, there were no Barelvis, there were no sects in Islam, nothing of that sort ever existed. And Rasulullah is saying, Ya Ali, you and your Shias are the ones who are successful. But you see that you can call it the biasness of the other sects. That when they see that the word Shia has come, Ya Ali, you and your Shias are the ones who are successful. Once they see this word Shia, they don't want to narrate it. They don't even want to narrate this to their own people, because it says the word Shia in it. And now we see that on the internet, some of the people who are more liberal, who belong to the other side, they come up with these ahadith and they discuss this openly, and they say, well, if Rasulullah has said it, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, why are we just hiding these ahadith from our own people? And Rasulullah had said this, therefore, alhamdulillah, we're proud when we say that we are the Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And then I'd like to say that there are two meanings to the word, or the two contexts by which you can look at the word Shia. Number one, the Shias that everyone understands, we belong to a certain school of thought, and we say we are from Ahl al-Tashayyu. Ahl al-Tashayyu, or Shias, right? Everyone accepts this. There's, on one side there are Sunnis and the other side are Shias. We are Shias. But in the literal meanings of the word Shia, are we really truly the Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib, or are we not? When we see that in the times of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam, certain people came to the Imam and visited him from Iran, and they knocked on the door of the Imam's house, and they said that we want to see our Imam. Kids, I want you to pay a little attention and recite salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Yeah. Okay. Just want you to hear this, yeah? So now, these certain people come from Iran, and they knock on the door of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam. They say, please, and the servant or the slave comes out and he says, he asks them who these people are. And to his question, they reply, they say, well, we've come all the way from Iran, and please tell the Imam that we are his Shias. The man goes inside, comes back, and he says, Imam doesn't want to see you. That's it. Very simple. He doesn't want to see you. They go back to to their own place, they come back the next day, and they say, okay, maybe the Imam was busy or something, and they knock on the door again, and they say, we've come all the way from Iran just to see the Imam, and we are the Shias of Imam. Please just tell him. And they were insisting on the word Shias because they wanted the Imam to know that they're not Sunnis, for example. Yeah, they're Shias of Imam. And now this is the second time, and the Imam refuses. The man comes back, and the guy says, Imam doesn't want to see you. And now this time, they're really upset. And they're very upset because they've come a long, long way just to see Imam, ask maybe a few questions, and then they've got certain hadiyas, some gifts, or some money from the homes and that they want to give to the Imam, but the Imam refuses to see them. So what do? They're very upset, but one of the companions of Imam Musa ibn Jafar tells them, you know what you need to do? Just go on the door. Don't use the word Shia. Say we are the muhibbeen of Imam Musa ibn Jafar. We like Musa ibn Jafar. Right? We are the Shias, don't use that word. So they come in and knock on the door and they say, please tell the Imam that the muhibbeen of Imam Musa ibn Jafar have come to see him. Now this guy goes in, comes back, and he says, Imam wants to see you. It's simple as that. They walk in, and they're a little annoyed, and they're upset, and they say, as soon as they see Imam Musa ibn Jafar, they start complaining. They say, Mawla, we've come here for the past 3 days, and this is the third day that we come on your door, and this man, he doesn't let us see you. Whenever we say we want to see you, we come to your doorstep, and they said that Imam doesn't want to see you. And is this possible? Imam, with all of this karam and everything, we know that you've got so much of extensive mercy inside you. How could you refuse someone from the door? And even though we've come from all the way from Iran just to see you. Imam says, no, it's not his fault. I refused intentionally. It was I who said no. He says, why, Ibn Rasulullah? What have we done? He says, you use the word Shias. Are you really my Shia? And then the Imam gives them a long list. Do you do this? Do you do this? Have you been following these wajibats? And have you kept yourself away from all of those sins? And then they understood that they had made the mistake, not the servant or the slave of the Imam. Salawat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, if we take the word Shias like as it is understood that we belong to a certain sect. Now remember in the Haram of Imam Raza alayhi salam Ayatollah Tehrani was giving out a speech, and there were like thousands of people sitting right in front of him, and he said by looking at everyone, and when you go to the Haram of Imam Raza, 99% of the people are Shias, even in Mashhad, right? Maybe just 1% people who belong to the other sects might come to the Haram of Imam Raza. And that's one of the reasons why the ajr and the thawab, the reward for visiting the shrine of Imam Raza alayhi salam in the riwayats, it says is more than the rest of the Aimam Masumin alayhi salam, because whoever comes to Imam Raza is a 12 Shia. He's not like the 6 Imams, like Ismailis or Sunnis or anyone else. Anyways, he said this. He said, by looking at everyone's face, he said, you should thank God for who you are. You're Shias, Muhibbeen of Ahlul Bayt. Don't take this for granted. Just because you just feel like, okay, I'm a Shia, so what? He says, no, don't take this for granted. This is something really big, and you don't understand, you don't realize who you are, you don't realize the value of just being the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And whoever is a follower would always want to remain a follower. And in order to remain a follower, you would have to take care of those things that ensure that you will be the follower, right? Sometimes people start doing things that make them go away from the religion. and they step outside the boundaries, the red lines, they cross the red lines. And that is the reason why Allah says, Inna Allah yahdi man yasha. Allah guides whoever He wishes. And then you find certain people, once they cross the limit, hidayah, the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or from Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, that is something that we need all the time. Every single moment, every breath that we breathe in, every single moment, we need the hidayah. And it is the love of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman that he has for us, and also Allah, who loves us so much that He guides us. Even though there's lots of shortcomings, even though we sin, even though we do so many of the bad things, we don't deserve this, but He gives it to us. Allah gives it to us. And I said, well, it is Imam Zaman alayhi salam's extensive mercy upon us that we are guided by him. It is important for us to understand our 12th Imam, Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Allahumma salli. You see, there's a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam where he says, Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata mitatan jahiliyyah. Whoever dies in a way that he does not understand, he's not aware of his imam, does not know his imam, then he has died mitatan jahiliyyah. What does that mean? At the death of the times, as if he died in the times of Jahiliyyah, when there was all kufr all around. So he died as a kafir. Someone who dies, and let me explain, someone who dies in a way that he does not know about his imam, he's died as a kafir. Death of a kafir. Now these are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The amazing thing is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say, and I'm sure many of you might have heard this hadith numerous times, but there's something that I want you guys to understand. In this hadith, Rasulullah did not say, Man mata wa lam ya'rif imamihi. Whoever dies and does not recognize his imam. No. He said, Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanihi. Someone who dies and does not know, is not aware of the imam of his times. The person who's dying, right? That person is unaware that he has an imam. And an imam that he should be following. He should have followed throughout his life, right? Imam. Had he said, does not recognize his imam alone, if that was the word, then our Sunni brothers could have said, well, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the imam. All of the Anbiya, many of the Anbiya are imams, like Ibrahim alayhi salam was an imam, Ismail was an imam. Likewise, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, above all, he is an imam and a Nabi and a Rasul. So this hadith goes back and refers to Rasulullah himself. Rasulullah did not say that whoever dies and does not know his imam. No. You know what he has done? Rasulullah has cornered everyone into a place. And he said, once you die and you're not aware of the imam of your times. So that means whenever this guy, wherever he is, whatever times that he's going through, he has an imam. That's number one. So that means until the day of the judgment, there is going to be an imam in everybody's time who needs to be followed. That's number one. And if you do not follow him, if you do not accept him as your imam, you will be a kafir. Now, if this hadith is accepted by Ahl Sunnah, once it is accepted by Ahl Sunnah, and I'll tell you why. If it is accepted, once it is accepted by Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, mashallah. Please recite a loud salawat for Moulana. Mashallah, he's a gem. And you guys, mashallah, are so lucky to have a Moulana like him who's so sincere with religion, sincere with Shia, and mashallah, I wish he was in Toronto. The thing that I was saying, that you should never take your religion as granted. I think you should not take your Moulana also as granted, because mashallah, subhanallah, the more that you benefit from him is I would say it's not that much, because I don't know what to say. I'm lost in words when I see him. Please recite Allah salawat for him. Now, as I was saying, the Sunni brothers accept this hadith, right? So if you ask them, then now in your time, who is your Imam? They might say, Mufti Falan, that Mufti. Okay, fine, okay. If you have got a Mufti, if you've got a scholar, ask that scholar that if people don't follow you, if people don't accept you as your Imam, would they become a kafir? Are you astaghfirullah like Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Are you declaring yourself to be someone as Rasulullah was, in some sort of a status equal to Rasulullah or near or close to Rasulullah? That if someone does not say the kalima or does not believe in Rasulullah becomes a kafir? And that mufti will say, no, you're wrong. And now let me tell you a little incident about the authenticity of this hadith. Allama Amini, Sahib al-Ghadir, he travels to Mecca for Hajj, and because he's a renowned scholar and everybody respects him all over the world, so the Sunni muhaddithin, they hear that Allama is here, so they want to see him, right? So one of the muhaddithin invite Allama Amini to their house for dinner, and they said, please come and accept this. And he knew, well, I'm a Shia scholar, everybody knows me. If I go to his house, there's going to be a debate, and they're going to say, oh yeah, you're a Shia, what are the differences? And I'm in Mecca and I want to do my Hajj. So he says, look, I'm here for Hajj, thank you very much. And very politely he said, he did not accept it, and I said, I'm sorry, because I'm busy with the ibadat, I'm here, I just want to concentrate on Hajj. So I accept your offer and I thank you, but please leave me alone. I don't want to come. But they insist. They said, no, you're here in Makkah and you must come. And they insist so much that he had to accept. He said, all right, I'll come. But I have on one condition. He said, what is that condition? He says, nobody's going to discuss anything about religion, concerning about issues like Sunni, Shias and things like that. I'm here for Hajj. We're all Muslim brothers. Let's just do Hajj. That's it. So that very night he goes for the to the dinner that he was invited for, enters that place, and there are more than about 100 muhaddithin. Muhaddithin are the people who narrate a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People refer to them to find out if Rasulullah actually did say this hadith or not. They have memorized of so many of the hadith, so they've got a special place in the ummah. So more than 100 of the muhaddithin of Ahl Sunnah are there in this house. So that means it was already pre-planned to invite Allama was because of something that Allama did understand as soon as he enters that place. Anyways, he doesn't say anything. People don't also say anything. They have a dinner and everything. And after the dinner, the man who had invited the scholar, the Shia scholar, he says, Moulana, there's so many of the muhaddithin sitting here. Isn't it good if we benefit from each other? Let's ask each one of the muhaddithin to narrate at least just one single hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's okay? So now everybody starts narrating a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then comes the turn of Allama Amini. He says, go ahead and you say this hadith. He says, okay, I'm going to narrate a hadith, and once I do, I want all of you to tell me if it is authentic or not. And if even just one single one of you feel that it wasn't an authentic hadith, just say so. He said, okay, what is the hadith? And he narrates this. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية. Right? Every single muhaddith who was sitting there, he said yes. Rasulullah said this. Authentic. It's okay. If that is authentic, then I just need to ask you just one single question. Imam of their times, right? In the times of Hazrat Zahra salamullah alayha, after Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the Imam of Fatima to Zahra salamullah alaiha? Allahu Akbar. He asked this question, nobody has an answer, and everybody leaves. So this is the question that I just put forward before you, that today, who is the Imam? Because he didn't say, Man mata wa lam ya'rif imamihi. He said, Imam is zamanihi. So the times, this today, who is that Imam? Salawat Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. We also need to be, the ma'rifah, awareness of our Imams. We need to find out from ourselves as well. How much are we aware? How much do we know about our Imam? How much in connection? How much can we relate ourselves to our Imam? What do I mean? We relate to our friends every day, right? That guy, yeah, in my school, he's a good friend of mine. He's my father. This guy's my brother, my little brother. So on and so forth. How much do you relate yourself with your Imam? And let me tell you, Imam Raza alayhi salam says, you know how much Imam loves you? The virtues of Imam. Who is the Imam Zaman? All of the 12 Imams in their times. These are the virtues, the sifat of an Imam. It says, if there's one father in the world who loves his sons more than any father in the world, in the whole wide world, yeah? One father loves his son more than any other father has ever loved his children. He says, if someone loves you even more than that father, that means he's your Imam. Allah. Imam Zaman loves you so much, he cries for you. When we sin, he starts crying. He says, these are our followers. These are the people who sit in the azab of Imam Hussain and they say, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, and they cry. And the followers, they love us. But then why do they sin? That makes him cry, and he's hurt when he sees us sin. And how much do we really relate to our Imam? Just because we're unable to see him doesn't mean that we cannot connect with him. If you just sit alone and you just talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, likewise you can talk to, no, obviously, he's not Allah, he's not God, but he is the authority of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah wants to introduce himself through your Imam Masumin alayhi salam. Bina'urif Allah, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Allah is recognized through us. We are unable to understand who Allah is. Had it not, we wouldn't have known Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way that we know Allah now. That's because of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So that's one hadith that I wanted to narrate. And there's one verse of Quran that I want to talk about. Please recite Allah salawat. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. Allah will not send his curse upon you, azab. Allah will not do that, ever. If you are amongst them. And he's addressing the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Rasulullah, if you're amongst the people, I will not bring down my azab. I will not bring down my curse on these people. Because you're amongst them. Right? Now some might say, from the Sunnah sides, for example, the people who believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam still exists amongst us. Likewise, we also believe in that, right? We believe that when we say the shuhada also exist. So Rasulullah above all sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is there. We can call upon Rasulullah and he listens to us. And even in Sahih Bukhari, there's a hadith, and Bin Baz has written a small booklet. If you go to Medina, and there's an office called Amr ibn Ma'ruf wa Nahy al-Munkar, and they print few books that tell you about the proper way, the procedures of doing the ziyarah pilgrimage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In that book, I myself read this hadith from Rasulullah. First, the fatwa. The fatwa is that once you come to the grave of Rasulullah, say Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, Assalamu alayka ya Muhammadin al-Mustafa. Things like that, and few sentences, 4 or 5 sentences, the same ziyarah that we recite almost every other day. And he says, this thing this practice of doing the salam in front of the grave of Rasulullah is for only some one reason, and that is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, and this hadith is in Sahih Bukhari, that if once you come to my grave, what you're required to do is send your salams to me, to the salam, and once you do that, I'm gonna reply with a salam to you. So if someone doesn't exist, won't be able to reply to the salam. He says, I'll reply to your salam. So that riwayah exists in Sahih Bukhari. So somebody might say, well, Rasulullah, because he exists even today, therefore there is no azab, there's no curse. Well, if that's the case, we believe there's other hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. Kuntu nabiyyan wa adamu bayn al-ma'i wa teen. I was even the prophet even at the time when Adam was between water and clay. He was being created. He's implying to that thing that where Adam alayhi salam was being created. Even at that time, I was a Nabi. So during the time of Adam, starting from Adam alayhi salam till Rasulullah, we see so many of the azabs descended upon so many of the nations who were destroyed completely because of those curses. Right? You already know about that. So Rasulullah even existed even before he apparently came to this world. Right? So if that logic, if you take that logic that Rasulullah exists now, with the same logic Rasulullah existed even before. So that now we come back to this verse again. مَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. Allah will not send His curse when you are amongst them. So that means Allah, the only logical answer is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to the life that Rasulullah spent, the time period when he was born and he ate and drank and he was amongst the people. Allah is referring to that time. That's the only logical answer, right? But now comes the final part. Now that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not apparently amongst us, why didn't the azab come? The curse should have come upon us, right? We should have gotten that azab long time ago. Well, if you talk about the people who were bad in the times of Rasulullah, do you not see any evil today? Moulana was, mashallah, reciting a sermon today about the world's affairs. You know what's going on in the world? There's so much of evilness. So why doesn't the curse come? Why? Now the only logical answer is there has to be someone who is like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and because of that being, because of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, who is like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is the reason Allah does not send down upon us His curse. Salawat ba Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So mashallah, alhamdulillah, we are proud to have followed these imams. Ayatollah Mohsin Qarati once said that once he came to Pakistan, he was surrounded by lots of Ahl Sunnah's scholars, and they say, Maulana, just tell us, what is the difference between you and us? We're talking about Imam Zaman, right? So they said, what is the difference between you and us? He says, oh no, we're all brothers, there's no difference, just talk about the commonalities, just forget about the differences, we are just one single ummah. He said, Maulana, just keep these things aside, just talk to me, man, just tell me, Maulana, Allama Sahab, Ayatullah, just tell us the truth. What is the real difference? What is the core issue? He says, okay, what I'll do is I'll ask a question, and I need you to answer that. He says, okay. He said, do you believe in Imam Mahdi? And Ayatollah says, as soon as I said that, everybody said, of course we do. Man kazzaba bi Mahdi faqad kafara. We got hadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, in Sahih Muslim, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever does not accept and does not believe in Imam Mahdi is a kafir. We're Muslims, we believe in Imam Mahdi. How can you say such a thing? He says, okay, but who is Imam Mahdi? He says, when Imam Mahdi comes, he's going to rule over the world, and he's going to relieve the world of all of the injustices and fill it with all of the justices as it was filled with injustices. He says, oh wow. So the whole world is going to be peaceful. And we're going to have peace all over the world, right? Such an amazing thing is going to happen. So, yeah. I said, okay, so let's do one thing. So what? He said, let's select one Imam Mahdi amongst us. See, I'm an Ayatollah. I've come from Iran. So I represent Shias. And I see so many of the muftis. And I'm sure you've studied in Saudi Arabia or maybe Misr, Egypt, and maybe in Pakistan. But I see renowned scholars, muftis here. So I would say you represent the Sunnis and I would represent the Shias. And let's get together and appoint one Imam Mahdi. And now these guys get upset and say, how can you say such a thing? It is impossible. We cannot do that. That is not our job. It's completely out of our domain. How could you say this? How could you say such a thing? You're an Ayatollah and you say that we select an Imam Mahdi amongst us? He says, oh really? Why not? He said, that's not our job. That's Allah's job. And as soon as he says, that's Allah's job, he says, okay, you say that for the last one, but what happened when the first one's selection came? Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what about the first one? You say this for the last one, what about the first one? So alhamdulillah, with the followers of the 12 Imams, the first of whom, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. I don't know if I've run out of time. How much time do I have? Do I still have time? How much time? Just tell me. Today the last day, so I just want to. No, how much time left? How much time do I have? No, but they said that, Moulana, how much time can I have? Yeah, but how much time do I have to recite? But they have certain things before namaz as well. 9:10 is now. No masajid. How much time, Moulana? Tell me. 20 minutes, okay. 20 minutes, fine. 9:20, okay. 10 minutes. Come on, man, just give me 5 more minutes. Salawat wa Muhammad wa alayhi wa sallam. Amir Mu'mineen was asked, he said, there's so many verses in the Quran that Allah has revealed upon us concerning you, that describe your virtues and all. Which one do you like the most? And Ali ibn Abi Talib says, there's one verse that I like. He didn't talk about Ayat Tathir or Mubahila or any of those verses. He said, there's one verse that I really like the most. And which one is that? وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. He said, this is the verse. And I'll translate it very quickly. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ, this is فعل مضارع. يَقُول, the people who say and will keep on saying that you, the kuffar, right, that you are not the prophet of God. If they say that, tell them, قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Between you and me, Allah's witness that I'm the prophet is enough. And also the witness of the one who has the complete وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ, who has the complete knowledge of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar, complete knowledge. Let me refer you to another verse. When Salman is sitting on Sulaiman Nabi, the Prophet is sitting on the throne, and he says, who will bring me the throne of Bilqis? So one man gets up, one person, and he says, وَقَالَ الَّذِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمٌ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ, and the one who had just a little bit of the knowledge of the book, he said, أَنَا آتِيكَ بِهِ قَبْلَ أَنْ يَرْتَدَّ إِلَيْكَ طَرْفُكَ. Even before the blink of the eye, even quicker than that, even faster than that, I'm going to bring the throne right before your eyes. And he did. So somebody who had just a little bit of the knowledge of the book can do so much. What about Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was the complete knowledge, right? Now here's why Ali ibn Abi Talib liked it. Not because of the powers that have been given to Ali ibn Abi Talib with the extensive knowledge that he has. No. What does Ali ibn Talib have to say about this? He says, وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. Now, witness, there are two witnesses upon the prophethood of Rasulullah. Two witnesses. One is Allah, and the other one is Ali ibn Abi Talib. So Ali ibn Abi Talib said, this is a great honor for me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is la sharik, who does not have any partners, right, has chosen me to be his partner in this case, where he wants me to be the second one, to be a witness upon the prophethood of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Who can be a witness? For example, if something happens here, right? The people who are sitting here would say, well, we saw it, so we can say that we were the witnesses and we were the right when we say we're the witness, right? But if somebody wasn't here and just heard something happen, so to say, I'm not really sure, right? So when someone, we as Muslims, when we say, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, we bear witness that Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his prophet. What does that mean? How much do we know Rasulullah? How much do we know about the prophethood of Rasulullah? I think not even 1%, right? So Allah knows, and Ali ibn Abi Talib, when the prophethood was being given to Rasulullah, he was the witness. And throughout the time, he remained the witness, and he knows what the prophethood of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam actually means. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay. Now, I think today is the last day, and let me take your minds towards Karbala, where there is a caravan who were forced to travel on camels with their hands tied behind their necks like this. And amongst them were Imam Sajjad alayhi salam with shackles and handcuffs and a collar that had spikes around his neck. And that caravan, by the way, when it started from Karbala, it landed in Kufa in just about 3 days. But the longest journey is from Kufa to Sham. And it took them 15 days to reach Sham. Somebody asked Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, he said, you've been through a lot. You guys, we cannot imagine what Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam went through, how much they suffered, the pain that they went through. You cannot, the extent of that pain, you cannot even imagine. When somebody asked him, out of all of those hardships that you faced, Mawla, which was the hardest part? And Imam replies, Asham, 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 Syria, Syria, Syria. Why? It is said that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, I'll just narrate an incident. Ibn Taymiyyah is the guy who's narrating it. He says, it was the day of Friday that I entered Sham, Syria, and I was in my, a motel where I was staying, and suddenly I hear loud noises of singing, dance, and drums beating, people celebrating. And he says, I come outside and I ask the people, why are you guys celebrating? Is it Eid today? So people reply that there were some rebels who had rebelled against the Khalifa, and they have been killed, and their families have been imprisoned and brought here before the Khalifa. And he says, as soon as I heard this, I moved towards that caravan, and I saw spears, and there were heads on top of those spears. And once I saw those faces, there was enlightened faces, there was nur on those faces. And he said, and then I saw some ladies whose hands were tied behind their necks, and they did not have any veils on their heads. So I thought that they must be non-Muslims. And then I saw just one man who I thought was in his old age, because his back, he has bowed his back. And as soon as I approached him, I saw him that no, he's a young man. And as soon as that person saw me, he said, Ibn Taymiyyah, what are you doing in Syria? What brings you here? And he said, I was shocked, and I looked at him and I said, how do you know my name? And how do you know that I do not belong from Syria? And to which he replies, look at me. You do not recognize that I am your Imam Zainul Abidin, and I am the son of Hussain ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. And do you see these heads on the spears? That's the head of Hussain ibn Ali, and the other one is Abul Fazl al-Abbas, and that's Ali Akbar. And this man throws himself on the feet of Imam Zainul Abidin and starts crying, and he says, Mawla, is there anything that I can do for you? I beg of you, can I do anything for you? To which Imam replies, there's one thing that you can do for us. Go to the market, buy some veils, some hijabs, bring them to me, and give it to the ladies who are standing behind me. He says, I go to the market, I buy some hijabs, and I come back and I give it to the ladies. And this was the first time that throughout this journey, the bibis, the ladies, thought that they had a moment of relief, and they started wearing those veils. And as soon as they started wearing those veils, people could hear the screams again, Wa hijaba, wa hijaba. People could be seen stepping towards those ladies with the spears in their hands and snatching those chadars, snatching those hijabs again. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is crying, and he says to him, once he sees this man again, he says, he was about to take out his sword, and he says, put your sword back where it belongs. Don't take out your sword. Don't raise your sword. And suddenly he sees certain people throwing fire on the heads of this caravan. And there are certain people pelting stones from the rooftops on these people, on this caravan. And suddenly he sees a man who has a stone in his hand, and he throws the stone, he pelts that stone, and that stone hits the forehead of the head of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And at this time, this man had enough, and he takes out his sword again. And he says, Mawla, just give me the permission, and I want to kill them. He said, and to which Imam Zainul Abidin replies, he says, Ibn Taymiyyah, you cannot bear to see that single stone that you have seen, right? But from Karbala to Kufa, and from Kufa to Sham, we have faced these things all throughout this journey. People have pelted us with stones. People have pelted us with fire, and so many things that we have seen. It is said that Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah Alaiha at that time refused to enter the court of Yazid, because these people were the people who were extensively using alcohol. So she refused, Sayyidah Zainab. And just to humiliate them, they were forced to stand in a corner where people would come and just witness and see them standing in that corner. And people would think that they're the slaves, astaghfirullah min dhalik. And that's the reason that Yazid wanted to humiliate them. And they're standing in the corner. And when they're asked to enter the court, for once, Sayyidah Zainab says, I refuse to go inside. And once that happens, she hears people screaming. And the riwayat says, Sayyidah Zainab for once, because of the jalalat inside her, she says, silence. And as soon as she says this word, silence, everybody, there's a pin drop silence everywhere. Even the animals stop moving. And when Sayyidah Zainab has stopped and refused and said, no, I'm not going inside, Sayyidah Sajideen says, Ya Ammati, oh Aunt Zainab, just look at the head of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And as soon as she looks at the head, she sees the tears of Imam Hussain alayhi salam rolling down the cheeks. And suddenly the lips of Imam Hussain alayhi salam start moving. And she says, sister, you knew that you had to go to the court of Yazid. This is the only way that my Islam is going to be saved. La'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin. Ya Hussain, 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 Ya Hussain
جب شام کے زندان میں ہوئی شام حرم کو ایک آن نہ راحت تھی نہ رام حرم کو ہر بار ٹپکتا تھا لہو اشک رواں سے زندان لرزتا تھا زندان لرزتا تھا سکینہ کی فغاں سے اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جانے کہاں بابا اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا بابا کتنی راتیں گزر گئیں بابا اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا چھوٹے سے سن میں قید دیے زندان ہو گئی بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی اللہ جان کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جانے بابا دل میں جو میرے درد ہے خالق کے ہے آیا کس کو کہوں میں باپ میرا باپ ہے کہاں تم بے کفن میں بے سرو سامان ہو گئی بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی اللہ کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جان کہاں ہو اے بابا کیا کیا نہ خلق کل میں حکارت کہ کہہ گئی میں بے کسی سے دیکھ کے منہ سب کا رہ گئی کرتا پھٹا ہوا میرا پہچان ہو گئی بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جانے کہاں ہو اے بابا گر راہ کی تو شمر پکارا خاموش ہو اور چپ ہوئی تو بے پدری نے کہا کہ رو ان آفتوں میں گھیر کے پریشان ہو گئی بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی اللہ کہاں ہو اے بابا اللہ جان کہاں ہو اے بابا بابا کتنی راتیں گزر گئیں بابا اللہ جان کہاں ہو اے بابا بے جرم کان زخمی ہوئے اور تماچے کا جو چاہے مجھ فلا کی ستائی کو پھر ستا شہزادی حسین کی یہ شان ہو گئی، بابا میں کیوں نہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی، اللہ جانے کہاں ہوئے بابا، اللہ جانے کہاں ہوئے، صدقے گئی بتاؤ کہاں ہیں میرے پدر، آئیں پدر تو جائے سکینہ بھی اپنے گھر، کیوں ایسے ظالموں کی مہمان ہو گئی، بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی، اللہ کہاں ہوئے بابا، اللہ جان کہاں ہوئے بابا، پوتی ہوں اس کی جو کہ ہے کون ہے نکاح امیر، جس نے ہزاروں قید سے چھڑوا دیے اسیر، امت نبی کی دیکھ کے انجان ہو گئی، بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ بابا میں کیوں نہ آپ پہ قربان ہو گئی، اللہ جانے کہاں ہوئے بابا، کتنی راتیں گزر گئیں بھیا،
صلی علی محمد مومنات سے درخواست ہے کہ وہ بیسمنٹ میں تشریف لے جائیں، ان کے لیے دسترخوان کا انتظام بیسمنٹ میں کیا گیا ہے۔ اس کے علاوہ آج کا مجلس کا تبرک ریاض خواجہ بھائی اور ان کی فیملی کی طرف سے کیا گیا ہے، ان کے جملہ مرحومین بالخصوص مرحومہ وحیدہ افضل، مرحومہ عابدہ افضل، مرحوم محمد افضل خان، مرحوم ابرار خواجہ کے لیے سورہ فاتحہ۔ چلو اناؤنسمنٹ یہ کرو کہ پانی کی بوتل جب آپ پانی پئیں تو پورا بوتل خالی کریں. اوکے چلو ڈو اٹ انگلش میں کرو.
If you drink from the water bottle, please recycle after you're done. I'm not ladies. No, you do it. Huh?